What is going on, everyone? It is your shaman, your sister in spirit, and your friend, Alesha Dunleavy here, on behalf of the Aspirant Agency of Intuitive Talents. So today we are kicking off a series where we are going to expand and let you guys know exactly who we are, what our mission is, and why we are doing what we love to do. So, our team is a spiritual wellness team comprised of diverse intuitive practitioners on a collective mission to deliver authentic, helpful healing services to align and uplift humanity. We have several practitioners on our team, and I'm going to run through them really quickly because I'm just introducing them as of now, but this whole series, we're going to be talking to each of these practitioners and expanding on their gifts, expanding on their medicine, and how they can help anyone, everyone. Okay. So kicking off, we have Safiya, who is our trauma therapy consultant. Okay. And you can find all of these expanded bios on our Calendly account, which I will be posting up very soon. So we have Safiya, who works with trauma therapy. We have creative consultations and oracle guidance with Samantha. We have intuitive intervention card readings with Alexis. We have spiritual wellness coaching with Abigail, dream guidance from our dreamlander Amar, ancestor mediumship and medical intuition readings with Mona, and shamanic healings with yours truly. So what is this agency about? Again, we're really here just to serve humanity, to serve our communities, and to support them in their healing journey, in their aspirations. So again, what's up, everyone? My name is Alesha Dunleavy. I am your shaman through the Aspirant Agency. Okay, and if you're looking to get more information, like to look at all of the bios, go ahead and check out our link here. It's calendly.com/the Aspirant Agency. Also, I can see comments, so if you guys are watching, drop some comments in. I want to say hi. I want to see what's going on. Otherwise, let's dive right into it. So if you guys have not hopped into any of the Clubhouse meetings, I have to say, please check out those clinics. I think it's very difficult to really highlight what our gifts are unless you are diving into and seeing it happen in real life. But I'm going to do my best. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to do my best to try and expand on what it is that we do through the interviewing process and by asking questions. So if there are any specific questions that any of you have, hey, Chelsea, please feel free to drop them below. But today I'm going to be talking about this aspirant right here. So let's get into it. What's my story? My story is that I have been a clairvoyant for a very long time, a medium. As a child, I was able to see spirits and also was able to travel, astral travel in the dream realm. Nobody really was able to pick up on it except my aunt, who at a very young age kept telling me, like, you are a psychic and this needs to get developed. And I would just look at her and roll my eyes. Beyond that, my story is a story of darkness. I've definitely had a lot of periods of time in my life of loss, of self-hatred, of disconnection, and of depression. And I think for me, the fascinating part about living inside of that level of darkness is that in order to survive, there has to be a spark of light, an equal amount of light that comes out of it as well. And although I feel that as I continue to evolve as a shaman And as a lot of people get to experience my light, a part of my story that really gets lost is the story of the darkness that I had to experience, and one that I also understand deeply that all of us are experiencing, because none of us are exempt from experiencing loss, grief, disconnection. This planet can be very intense, and this life can be very intense. And honestly, it's for the purpose of expansion, for strength, for growth. But it can be easy to get lost in it as well. So my story has a lot to do with my mother passing away, losing my sisters, being separated from my sisters, and living inside of depression, undiagnosed depression, for a very long time. I think mostly it was undiagnosed because there weren't any necessarily chemical signs. It mostly had to do with just my wanting to escape, my not being able to understand why people had to die, and because people had to die, what was the real purpose of living? And then rediscovering what it meant for me to live, to love, and to heal. So what is my aspiration? What's my mission? My mission is pretty simple. My mission is to walk with people on their spiritual path back into remembering who they really are. And I do that through the shamanic path back to people's spiritual depth. I think that there is a very deep connection to spirit that all of us have. And sometimes that walk can be a little nerve-wracking because of the dogma and the traditions and the stories that we have been told by organizations, by families, by all ways that we get indoctrinated with dogma. So I love just being able to walk alongside people as they rediscover themselves, as they unbecome in order to become who they are. So that is basically my aspiration. My mission is to just be a guide, to be a friend, to help you get back into your own empowerment and your own deep knowing. What is my embodied medicine? So the medicine that I embody is comprised of a couple of things. And it is cord cuttings, soul retrievals, chakra healings, and energy empowerment. And energy empowerment comes through like mentorship or coaching. So cord cuttings have a lot to do, which leads me into the next question. All right. So like, what are the symptoms of this? Like, how do I know that I need this kind of medicine? Okay. So I'm going to tune back to the last banner. If you need a cord cutting, what is the intention of it? A cord cutting is required whenever there are a lot of different things. Whenever we lose somebody, whenever we are out of a relationship, whenever we are leaving a toxic job, anything that we come into contact with, okay, any people that we come into contact with, any environment that we come into contact with, that is going to create an energetic cord where we are able to connect with that thing and it is able to connect with us. A cord cutting is really required whenever these cords become either too many. So we are really swimming in a lot of people's energy and we're finding ourselves feeling drained, irritable, emotional, without any real reason why. We're just feeling that way, very tired. So we are coming into contact with too many people. Also, this cord cutting is important whenever these cords become toxic. So this can happen with parents, this can happen with partners, this can happen with coworkers, anybody that comes into your life where you feel like the relationship with this partner is not healthy. And yet you're unable to break the bond yourself. There seems to be something that you cannot let go of. And this can come with a lot of psychic attacks. This can come with those very wavering, unstable moods that just kind of go up and down, up and down. So this is where cord cutting can be supportive. All right. If you guys have any other questions about that, go ahead and drop them down in the comments and I'll be able to answer them for you. But just to revisit that, to be clear, cord cuttings can come when we are engulfed in too much energy or one relationship that is just toxic. And again, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are excessive being tired excessively, having unstable mood swings that you just cannot explain. This could be anger. This could be sadness. This could be having the feeling that somebody is watching you or that a specific person is always around. Maybe they're in you feel like you can hear their thoughts or they're in your head, not in a positive way. Okay. So we have a question in. What if your job requires you to be in contact with many people all of the time? How do you cut the cord? So that is a really great question. Thank you for asking. When we are working with people all of the time, typically, even as somebody that works energetically with a lot of people, I would only need to do a cord cutting maybe once a month, sometimes bi-weekly. And if you are coming into contact with a lot of people all the time, what I would suggest just to add into your daily routine is to take those spiritual showers, okay? Really washing the body with the intention of washing the cords off of you, washing the connection off of you, getting all of that stuff, because we're coming into contact with lots of people all of the time. Other than that, I think that if we are going through a cord cutting, through doing this verbally, what we would say is, I am calling back my energy from all spaces, places, people, and time, whether I gave my power over knowingly or unknowingly. Okay. Now, it is your voice, it is your willpower, it is your clarity that is going to support that. Okay. So usually I would not have to suggest people to do these all of the time. Most of the time, whenever the cord cuttings happen, it's like a giant plate of spaghetti, right? It's like months and months and months and months of these things. The other thing that Spirit just said, so thank you, is that be mindful of your intention whenever you're coming into contact with people. Okay. So if the cord is going to be a lot thicker and is going to be way more permanent is a loose term. Okay. I'm talking about more like much more sticky if we are hoping for something to come out of this. Okay. So if you are a practitioner, right, and you put no intention, right? It's like, I'm not doing this for a reason. I'm not doing this because I want you to get better. I'm doing this because I'm being present in the moment. Then the cord is less likely to attach and cause a lot of that energetic interference. But whenever you are attached to the outcome, thank you so much for that. When you are attached to the outcome, that is going to make the attachment much more strong. And then they are going to pull from that. And I know that as an empath, and I know that as people who are caring and have big hearts, it can be hard to just be like, all right, this has nothing, like coming to it from a place of detachment. But it is very important as energy workers for us to take that mindset, because to kind of be detached from the start is exactly right. Because the cord can't really attach deeply into us to where they're draining our energy. Okay. So we don't want to attach the cord, right? I would say try to get their cord to attach to the divine, to their intuition. Okay. Not to us. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. I'm so glad that it helps. And here, are there still cords after someone passed? Yes. 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 I actually, just a couple years ago, so my mother passed away in 2000. I still had a very thick umbilical cord to my mom, even though she passed away, because energy is neither created nor destroyed. right? It's just transferred. It just changes form. So my mother is not dead and gone. She's just transformed into a different level of consciousness. And my cord is still attached to that energy and still feeding off of it based off of how much attachment I have to it as well. So it can be very helpful to get a cord cutting if you lost somebody dear to you and you feel like you are just not able to get over it. Not saying that that will exempt you from the grieving process. I am not going to even pretend that it's some sort of like miracle or magic. We all have to go through the grieving process because that is a part of the school of Earth, right? But what it does is it might take the intensity of that off, or the negative emotions, right, because I'm sorry, my guides are speaking. They're like, negative emotions are natural. Negative emotions are not bad, right? They are where we have some of the most profound growth. But sometimes it can be so intense that it distracts us from living in our present moment. And it's because that thing is sucking our life force out of us. And is it sucking the life force out of us, or are we giving it away because that cord is there? So understanding the difference. We don't want to always point the finger and blame everyone else, knowing that sometimes we just naturally fuel that cord based off of the emotions that come up. And so cutting that cord is going to allow it to reattach in a more healthy way. Does that make sense when I say that? Chelsea, I have chills. It's a great modality. It's a great modality. Yes, I know. I don't really talk a lot about the services that I do. And it's because you will find, for anybody that schedules an appointment with me, you will find that how it goes is that I meet you where you are. Some people don't need cord cuttings, some people need energy balances. Hi. Some people need healings. So I am not the Dreamlander. I am not going to take that. But Amar will be interviewed, and we would love to have you on for that. You can also go to our page, the Aspirant agency, and type in your dream, and I'm sure Amar would be happy to support you in your dream. But thank you so much for being here. So the next thing that I do is a soul retrieval. What is a soul retrieval? And truly, like, what are the symptoms that I might know that I need a soul retrieval? A soul retrieval is needed whenever we have soul loss. So what is soul loss? Yes, Dreamlanders Group for Dreams. Check them out. Amazing practitioner. Soul loss happens whenever we experience a trauma. It could be physical, like a car accident. It could be mental. It could be emotional. It could be spiritual. And this trauma is too big for us to handle in the moment. Okay. So what happens is we kind of dump it into the subconscious mind because it just feels too overwhelming to deal with consciously. Through the shamanic perspective, what also happens is it's like you fractalize that piece of the pain and you shove it somewhere else, so that way we don't have to deal with it. Through the lens of the massage therapy, that happens in the body, right? Like people say, like, you can store trauma in the body, even in yoga. That's why whenever we do certain movements, some people will get very emotional whenever they are going through certain movements or having certain spaces of their body touched or massaged. So what we would do, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are memory loss. The symptoms are feeling like you miss a piece of yourself, or that a piece of yourself is missing. These are the two major things that I hear with these clients. And oh, please do not apologize. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to have you. So please know that. I feel that when I come into contact with these people, it has a lot to do with, this thing happened to me. And I really don't remember my childhood from like 5 to 10. Like I'm missing a whole chunk of my life there. And again, it's because we go into autopilot mode. The trauma happens. We take a piece of our ability to be conscious and present with our lives. We shove it somewhere, and then we just kind of run on autopilot. So if you guys have ever seen the movie Soul through Disney, that is the perfect representation of what can happen. So what we do is we go and we retrieve the piece of the soul, we return it back into the etherical body, and you will sometimes get your memory back. You'll start to have flashes. Oh my gosh, I forgot that that happened. You'll start to feel a little bit more empowered. What does empowered mean? Empowered means that you might have overall just more energy. Okay. So you'll feel like you have more energy, more clarity. You'll feel more connected to yourself. You'll feel safe to be more authentic. Because also, one of the ways that we do this is we take it and we integrate it into one of the chakras. Okay. So whichever chakra maybe that this thing was taken from or stored into, it's going to help balance that out again. Does that make sense when I say that? So if you have experienced a trauma and you are missing memories from a certain part of your life, you feel lost, you feel like something is just missing, you feel unsatisfied with life, like things just don't feel full to you, you feel different than other people that are healing. Ooh, my favorite one. You have been actively healing a part of you, but you can't seem to get over the hump of it. That was me. It's like I felt like I kept trying to heal and heal and heal and heal and heal this one thing. And I just felt like I kept circling back to it. And I kept wondering, how in the world is this not working? Like, I know that I can heal it, but it's just, I keep circling back to it. It was because I needed a soul retrieval. I needed that piece to be reintegrated for me to heal that part and become whole again, and then move on to the next cycle. So I hope that that was clear. What is a chakra healing? So when our chakras get out of balance, it can cause a bunch of different things. I will just use one chakra for an example. For those of us that are going through our awakening, our third eye is going to be a super important chakra. Okay. When this chakra is overactive, we can tend to have a ton of overthinking, sometimes go into manic episodes. We can start feeling spirits around us and, or just entities around us. Maybe our dreams are very, very vivid. We might even be having those dreams where, how do you call it? I can't think of the word. What's the name for that? I almost said insomnia, but it's like where you are laying down and you can feel yourself being awake, but you can't get up out of your body. Maybe the word will come, or if somebody knows what that is, I can't remember. You can drop it in the comments below. So if you're having those experiences where you're having out of body experiences and you're not quite sleep paralysis, thank you so much, the both of you. If you are having sleep paralysis, that could be, and Chelsea, thank you so much. Look at you guys coming in and supporting me. I appreciate you all so much. If you're having excessive sleep paralysis, that probably means that your third eye is overactive. If you are having lucid dreams, yes, but lucid dreams that make you feel uncomfortable, that maybe that you don't feel prepared for, your third eye might be overactive. Now let's talk about if our third eye is underactive. We're talking about no dreams. We're talking about depressed thinking, dullness, melancholy, kind of like having just like blank. Everything just goes blank in the mind. Feelings of numbness in the mind. These are signs of underactive. Also, if you feel like you are not connecting to your intuition, okay, it's like I feel like I'm picking something up, but like I can't get it. Like I don't get it. What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? That is a sign of an underactive third eye. So what we would want to do is we want to go ahead and bring it back into balance, right? Because we don't want to teeter you too far to where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting too many downloads and I can't even function in my life because I'm so overwhelmed with the amount of with how much I am tapped in to spirit right now, which I have experienced. It can be extremely overwhelming. But we also don't want you to be so blocked off that you're not getting any messages at all and you're starting to feel disconnected and feel isolated and feel alone. Okay. So we would go based off of, I would basically just scan your chakras, go through them, see which one is open, closed. They can't really be, in my experience, it's not usually open or closed. It's overactive, underactive, or unbalanced, which means it might be shifted to the left or the right or forward or backward a little bit. Okay. So I would go ahead and check each chakra, see what's going on, tell you the symptoms that I feel are happening with that, and then go through the process of clearing the auric field, rebalancing out the chakra. So that way you can continue on your journey. All right. And you can continue to, and then of course, give you the tools that you need in order to keep that chakra back in balance. Does that make sense when I say that? Repressed memories. I've been getting so many signs straight up wax in the head that I need to dig into mine, but homie, it won't hurt if I can't remember. Exactly. You know, and there comes a time where we just know we need to heal, you know, that we're going to have to hurt a little bit in order to get through it. The great thing about soul retrievals, though, I have found is that because I had enough time to grow and because I've had time to get a little bit of thicker skin, that when I get a soul retrieval, I'm not grieving as heavily and uncontrollably as I would have before. There's a little bit more of strength and courage and ability there for me to process, oh my gosh, that did happen. And did I cry over it? Absolutely. Did I get angry over it? Absolutely. But did I lose control? No. And I also want to be very clear in terms of soul retrieval that all of us have the power to do soul retrieval on ourselves. It just depends how deep you've buried it. So again, calling all of the pieces back, calling the piece of the next part of my journey back. Yeah. As we heal, we do get pieces back, which is how we get to be more enlightened. The soul is composed of light, right? We get more pieces as we heal, but some pieces are really heavy, and a shaman is just there to kind of walk with you to get that piece and to walk back with you to integrate that piece, right? Not just integrate it in the ethereal body, but to integrate it in the mind and to integrate it through support. So just remembering, like, you're always getting pieces of your soul back as you continue to heal. Yeah. And to reassure you that spirit would never give you a piece that you are not ready to receive, because the spirit that I'm really working with is yours, your highest self. What are you ready for? What do you want support in this next part of your journey? And you are the one that tells me, and I go down and I help get it, and then we return it to you together, which is why I say we a lot. The collective we. So yes, going back into chakra healing, that is basically what it is. Scanning you, seeing maybe what event happened, what feelings are associated with it, what's draining it, and then really bringing it back into balance and giving you the tools that you need in order to maintain that balance. The last one here is energy empowerment. What does it mean to empower somebody energetically? That has more to do with mentorship. So my goal is to give you all of the knowledge that I have collected over the past 7 years of my life to help you, to empower you to be your coach. I am not a guru. I am not some special enlightened anything. I'm just like the rest of you. I'm a perfect reflection of all of you, of your own power. You know, I just have expanded my reference library. You know, that's it. And if you have the library, if you have the knowledge, if you have the know-how, then you can do it. And I fully believe that. So energy empowerment is giving you the tools and giving you the time and giving you the space to relearn who you are by relearning some of this lost knowledge that is more accessible now that we have the internet. But sometimes it's nice to sit with another human being and be like, oh my gosh, okay, we can do this. I can lucid dream. I can astral travel, and all of these things. So that basically is the gist of what I do, who I am. Cut some cords, do some astral travel to do some healing and some soul retrieval, and also just holding space for you to rediscover and remember who you really are. Again, through the Aspirant Agency, we are a group of intuitive talents. Some of the most amazing people that I have ever met. And I guess I want to end this in a fun way. So I would really love for, does anybody want like a quick reading? So that way I can kind of show what it looks like. I have about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to do the first 3 people, okay, that I see the comments on. So if you guys want to drop in, so that way we can give people an understanding of how this works. Maureen. Hi, love. All right, let's go. Heather. If there aren't any volunteers. Who's this? Is this you, Alexis? We got 3. Okay, wait. Who's the if we aren't any other volunteers? If you can drop a comment below. I'm going to go ahead and start, okay? All right. Okay, Alexis, I got you. Okay. All right, Maureen. So immediately what I get drawn to are 2 spaces. I got drawn to the head first, and it's the most present for me right now. It feels really... It feels like a mix between like a little staticky and a little bit of pressure. The pressure that I get is actually right over my ear chakras, which I find fascinating. And then the static is in the front. So because I'm not, and then it wraps around towards the back here. What is that? Okay. So what your guides are telling me just through this experience is like the static is maybe there's a lot of thoughts on the mind, but it's nothing necessarily that you aren't actively thinking about or that you are like subconsciously thinking about, right? Like if it was subconscious, I would probably feel more of the static in the back of the head. So there's a lot of like mental activity going on. Now with the ear chakras here, they feel like they have pressure on them, which to me feels like they aren't open. All right. But it's really fascinating because my thinking channeling face. Thank you. It's fascinating because I almost feel like I have a hearing aid on behind. So I feel like even though your ear chakras are not super open or might need a little bit of support energetically, that your team almost like put some like implants on the backs of your ears to help you hear things, but there is still some struggle hearing what guidance is needed for this like mental activity that's going on. Is that the clenching of the jaw? So they want to bring to your attention the roof of the tongue and the jaw. Okay. This is what her response is. My guides are slapping me to get to listen and I'm struggling with it. Okay. And that's totally normal. So the advice that they want to give you is that be mindful of the jaw and the roof of the mouth. Okay. Because what happens is whenever we are having our energy flowing through the Sushumna, we have to create some space. And whenever we suck the tongue to the roof of the mouth and clench the jaw, we're closing off that area. And the throat chakra and the ear chakras are actually minor chakras, but they work together. Okay. So we want to be able to relax that so that way the energy can flow up and down. Now, one of the things that can happen is because this is getting locked, okay, the messages are coming down from the crown and into the third eye, but they're getting stuck here. Does that make sense when I show you that visual? They're getting stuck. And what they want to invite is a way for you to channel it, right? They want you to be able to channel it. And expression does not mean I'm going to open my mouth and just start talking and seeing what comes out. Expression could also be through silence. It could be through it can be through writing. I'm really hearing for you something with your hands. It's like if you sat down and was like, okay, guides, I can't hear, but I'm going to sit down and write down what you want me to hear, that might be super supportive for you. And again, just making sure that we open up this space. Okay, so that way the energy can actually flow through the rest of you. Is there anything else that you want to talk about in regards to this? Okay, they're also wanting to bring some attention to the lower chakras as well. They feel a little heavy. So what I would say is they feel a little heavy, maybe a little underactive. I'm hearing some movement, maybe some time out in nature is going to be supportive, but they want to reassure you that like they're not trying to put any extra pressure on you to try to like do tasks. What they're really inviting is like some movement in order to connect more with the body. So they're kind of saying, just I can see somebody sitting on the floor just doing some yoga poses. It's not even like a full flow. It's more just like, okay, I'm sitting here cross-legged, feeling my tail, my seat on the ground, and I'm just rocking back and forth, you know? They're even showing me like laying on the back and pushing up into bridge. Okay, moving the pelvis a little bit. I feel like maybe some of the Kundalini is a word that could be used, and it's not inaccurate, but some of the energy down towards the lower chakras are just a little bit stagnant. So if you can, some like dancing, just like moving the hips, and as you move the hips, using the breath to just like draw the energy up or whatever feels right to your body. But they're really asking you to connect with your body a little bit more because it's just going to help awaken that that energy down in the pelvis. Is there anything else here? Oh, they do want to address that overall you feel a lot lighter. So like this was not any kind of like you're not doing any, it's not right. Like they want to address how much lighter that you have been feeling and how good you have been doing overall. Yes. That was still for you. Okay. And now we are complete with that. And if you need me to repeat anything, just get a hold of me. Okay. All right. Alexis, you are next. You do feel much better lately. I can feel that. Like energetically, you feel so much lighter. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I tapped into Alexis right now and like I just got overwhelmed with like heat. I literally just like bust out into a sweat there. Okay. Thank you for that message and reading. Let's go ahead and move on to the next for Alexis. Okay. I mean, I'm immediately drawn to the palms of the hands. Just like this intense tingling here. Where do you want to go with that? A lot of energy. Even as I look into the palms of my hand, I'm seeing like this dark navy blue. And my throat starts to get a little sore. So going to the blue, um, okay. Sorry, the energy just starts flowing, and then I can't help but let it move. So what to me what this is representing, right, is the hands are the extension of the heart. Okay, so it seems like there is some you're doing a lot of talking. Yeah, why? Why? I feel like the raspiness of my voice, I do feel like you are pushing out a lot of expression energy. But be mindful that it's not too much to where you are draining from these channels. Okay. I feel that strongly. The breath within me feels very hot. So, okay, so I feel like you're in your masculine energy a lot, just like taking action, doing things, forward movement. Um, what do you want to say about this? What is the support for this? So they want you to be able to cool off a little bit. Don't forget to breathe and cool off because there is a lot of heat happening from here. By bringing in the cool breath down into the body, what it's going to do, and immediately my hands start cooling off, is it's going to help prevent any kind of burnout that might be up ahead. So they want to really ask you to be mindful to enjoy this energy that's coming up for you, that's like take action and you go, but also remembering that as bodies we only have a finite amount of resources. So just making sure that as much as you are taking action, that you are also taking time to channel all of this energy into things that also involve self-care, that also involve what's that word, foundation. Ooh, okay, so it's almost like sometimes we can get super fast into things that sometimes we miss a few steps, so our foundation gets a few cracks in it. So just being mindful that even though we are feeling overwhelmed with this energy to go and produce, that we're also taking care of all the setup, the base things, so that way as we continue to grow we don't have to worry about things falling apart. Say that again, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So they're talking about how the energy really seems to be flowing from the root up. And they also want to invite this idea of taking all of this energy that's up here and also bringing it down into the root. So some grounding exercises and techniques are going to be super helpful for you at this time, just so that way we don't teeter that third eye into overactivity, because I do feel that maybe the third eye might be a little open. And even as I talk to you, I start to feel that pressure in the back of my head. So not only are you actively thinking about things, but there are also some like deeper subconscious things that are coming up. Hmm. Hmm. So be mindful of your thoughts as well. I'm also feeling that pressure on my ears. Ooh, okay. I think that you would really be, it would be very beneficial for you to like get this area of you kind of cleared up, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff over here. So if you feel like you haven't been hearing things super clearly, it's because you have a lot of energy built up from the top of the head like down to like right here. I don't feel it too much on top of the shoulders. It's more like the head and the ears. And I feel like that might be blocking you from being able to like hear things or to think things clearly. Does that make sense when I say that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll talk with you later about how to clear that, because I'm trying to hear, of course, just like grounding is going to be important, but I feel like spiritual hygiene is going to be super important for you as well. I hear that you do spiritual hygiene, so this is like new. It's like asking you to evolve your routine or your rituals in order to also setting boundaries. I'm hearing, yeah, it's going to be supportive for you. Energetic boundaries. It's like a lot of people talk to you, a lot of spirits talk to you, and learning how to set those spiritual boundaries as well is going to be important, right? Because like I feel like we get used to like talking about boundaries in terms of, oh yeah, like I'm not going to tolerate you doing this and do all of this stuff, but like we also have to set spiritual boundaries. Like, listen, I'm not I can't listen to all 12 of you at once. I need you guys to form a line. Please and thank you. So that might be something that's calling as you are continuing to grow as a practitioner, is to just set these energetic boundaries up. Okay, and Heather. Hi, love. Are you still here? Okay. Heather, immediately when I tune into you, I have some pressure along the chest. It's like I feel energy from here, here, and here. I get the feeling of overwhelmed, just feeling a little overwhelmed. I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders, and maybe like life is getting a little bit too fast for me. Like there are just some things. I'm doing this, which I know I do a lot. I know I talk a lot with my hands, but immediately I was like, I feel like I'm juggling something, but I'm juggling almost like towards my chest, like, but like I'm bouncing the juggling balls off my chest. So I feel like I'm juggling things on some things on the heart. It's really messing with my head, and it's putting a lot of pressure on me emotionally. And then I get shot right into my solar plexus. I feel like it's messing with my confidence. Not necessarily like, ooh, my confidence, I'm like shining, but like my trust in self. Um, I keep hearing like I'm trusting in the universe. Like I trust in the universe. Like I'm trusting in all of the universe, Like I feel like overall there's like this deep, like your soul is just so loud, which I love. Like even though I feel like I'm like battling myself and battling these energies and like kind of mixed inside of all of these things that are happening, all of these things that I'm juggling, like deep within me, I hear this just like everything's going to be okay. Like I'm going to be okay. So like kudos to you. Like kudos to like your inner self being so loud inside of this. But I do feel that overall it's not really bringing the peace that is really wanted here. What's your thoughts? What's your advice? So, ooh, I love that. So like what I'm hearing in this is like you have been calling out for spiritual growth. Like you have been calling out to like really evolve as a spiritual being, as a healer. And so what this time is advising you to do is like it's time for you to sit with your highest self. Like 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 listen to her. Like she has a lot of messages for you that are super profound, and that energetically are going to unlock things. It's like you're looking for a teacher and you are your teacher. And so your spiritual path right now is trying to get you to develop that relationship with you and your inner teacher. Okay, does that make sense? And specifically what I'm hearing is like energy healing. Like your highest self has healing for you, and she wants you to listen to her so that way you can go ahead and start healing yourself energetically. They're saying sometimes she doubts herself, and they're saying like not in an extreme way where you're like self-deprecating, but like sometimes you have a little bit of doubt and you want a little bit of support in that. And they want you to know that you are supported. Actually, like several guys just like step forward just to like to prove a point. They're like, we're all here, like we are all here with her in this part of her journey that is asking her to realize who she is and what she's capable of and who she's really connected to. Yeah. They want to share a message that be mindful, because as a creator, what happens is whenever we can get into our heads and kind of like turn the magnet of ooh, like this feels heavy, be mindful, because sometimes what we'll end up doing is attracting heaviness, but not in terms of like, it's so fascinating. They're like, it's not going to be like physical manifestations of heaviness. It's more going to be she's attracting more of those feelings of heaviness. So it's almost like microscopic pieces of matter that are kind of collecting in your auric field that are also going to just continue to catalyst this cycle of heaviness or this feeling of heaviness. So be mindful of what magnet you have turned out, because you might be attracting little pieces of matter in your auric field that feel heavy, and then it's just going to keep cycling in that direction. That you are that powerful. So if you can visualize, and then my hands get like real hot because and it feels like energy healing to me. I almost feel like literally like turning the magnets. It feels like I have magnets on my hand, and they're showing me like either attracting those things to my hand. So it's like anything that is creating the illusion of heaviness on my body, I'm going to make them stick to my hand like a magnet. And then they all kind of like stick to my hands, and I can even feel it. And then going to the earth and maybe flipping the magnet again to where it repels them off. Yeah. That's dope. I have never seen anything like that before. And like doing it again, pulling it, getting it off, using the magnets of the hand to like get your stuff, get that heaviness off of you, especially off of around this area. So that way you feel a little bit lighter, and then can hear the voice of your soul a little bit louder. Is that complete? Yeah. So I hope that was helpful, Heather. Let me know how you're doing, if it's accurate. When we sit around and talk, does this just happen to you? Spirit just be talking all the time? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's why I think I make people uncomfortable sometimes, because I kind of space out or I like get real quiet, or like I talk about other things. It's because typically there's a lot of spirits around, and I can get very overstimulated by that. It's also why I don't love being in large crowds, because spirits want to talk. Like, they have a voice, they have messages. Everybody's going through something. And so when they see somebody that can help, they're like, oh my gosh, tell this person this, and like da 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 da, pick up this. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if it's my place. I didn't, So yeah, it's a definite process to kind of I always tell people all the time, I'm like, I'm walking in between two worlds at once. I'm always in between realms. I'm on this planet with you, but I'm also on a whole other plane of existence, and it's usually the plane of spirits. So It can be overwhelming, but I love it. I called it in. It's exactly who I am. And I want to keep getting better at it. So thank you all for joining. Thank you. It is interesting. I'm sure a lot of us can have those moments where we're like, whoa, am I here? Am I there? Where am I right now? I feel like somebody's talking to me. But yeah. So for all of you that were watching on the Aspirant page, I hope that this was a good introduction to what we are going to be providing here through this series. I'm just one of many, and I'm super excited to introduce all of my friends, my soul fam, my colleagues into this space, interview them. And please, if you have specific questions that you would like to ask, drop them into either this or into the Aspirant group. Okay. Check out our Calendly. See who's there. Find out maybe who you're drawn to. Like, ooh, this name, this concept, this medicine. And ask about us. We are so honored and like so excited to be a part of your support team and to include you into our family. So thank you again. It is your shaman, your sister in spirit, and your friend Alesha here. And I'm wishing for all of you a fantastic rest of your week. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, go follow these pages, and continue just to like envelop yourself in the magic that all of us are. Okay. Peace and love, everyone. Bye.